Alright, so the first step is to download Ubuntu. You're going to go ahead and head over to the Ubuntu website. And you're going to go over to where it says download. Click there and go for whichever version of the desktop you would like. I'm going to do 20.04 LTS. It will start a download. If it doesn't, you can just press the download now button. Just give that a second to download. Alright, now that that's done, we can move on to the next step. Alright, now we need to download VMware Workstation. We're going to be using VMware Workstation Pro 16. And just visit the link in the description, and then you'll press download now. It will immediately start the download. Let's just wait for that to finish. Now that this download is finished, I do want to mention that these links are only for a fully functional 30-day trial, as it says right here. You won't have to register or put in your email or anything, so don't worry about that. But if you are going to be using it long term, you can either find a cracked version of VMware, or you can just purchase a license. Next step. Okay, so now we're going to install VMware Workstation. So you can go ahead and open that. Just give it a second to load. You have to go ahead and accept the user account control, which is basically you saying yes to let it access your files. Alright, let's begin. So you can go ahead and press next. You can read through the license agreement if you want. I'm not going to. Then you have to press I accept and then press next. Now, it's recommended that you do the enhanced keyboard driver, but I don't have the time to reboot my device right now, so I'm not going to select it, but I do advise that you use this. And then you just leave this option selected and you press next. It's up to you if you want to have it check for product updates or if you want to join the experience improvement program. I'm going to decline both. And I'm just going to move on and press next. I only want it on my desktop. I'll press next. And then you press install. Alright, we're all done here and I'll see you in the next step. In this step, I'm going to show you how you can set up or create a new virtual machine. So let's just let that open. I'm trying it for free for 30 days. If you're doing this permanently, you might want to buy a key. Just accept the user account control, select finish. Alright, and then you can go to File, New Virtual Machine, stay under Typical, go to Next, and then we'll select I will install the operating system later. And then you can go ahead and press Next. And now we're going to go down here, select Linux, and go to Ubuntu 64-bit. And then you can name this whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it normal. You can also give it its own location. I'm going to put it in the desktop. Let's make a new folder. I'm going to call it Ubuntu. Oh well, I'll change it after. And then just press next. Ubuntu doesn't require much, so you can leave it in 20 GB if you want. I recommend selecting Store Virtual Disk as single file because it makes it run faster. And then you can press next, and then you can review all this stuff, make sure it's right. And if you have a dual core CPU, I recommend that you change this to 1. It should do it on its own, but if it doesn't, only use half of your cores. Then select finish. Okay, on to the next step. Picking up where we left off, you can go over and select Ubuntu 64-bit, then go to VM, Settings. Then you're going to go over to CD/DVD SATA. You're going to go to Use ISO image file, browse, and you're going to select the Ubuntu file we downloaded earlier in a bit ago. Just open that. And then go over to memory. I recommend keeping this at 4. For your processors, like I said before, just use half of them. If you have a dual core, use 1. If you have a quad core, use 2, and so forth. These two are optional. They really just speed up the performance, but you have to enable certain settings in your BIOS to use them. So for now, just don't use them unless you know how. After this, you can choose how much disk space you want. I'm keeping mine at 20. And you can go ahead and select OK. Okay, on to the next step. Okay, so now that we have the virtual machine set up, we're going to install Ubuntu onto the virtual machine. So you can go ahead and select Ubuntu 64-bit and select power on. I'm going to go ahead and full screen this. It's not working. There we go. And then just going to wait for that to load up. Okay, so now that it's loaded, we're going to go ahead and select Install Ubuntu. Select your language first, of course. I'm just going to use English. And then you can choose your keyboard layout. They have a bunch of options. I'm just going to stick with English. And then just go ahead and do a normal installation and select, it should be automatically selected, but if it's not, just make sure you check off download updates while installing Ubuntu to make sure you're using the latest version. Then select continue. Okay, so now just make sure you select erase disk and install Ubuntu. While the warning might seem scary, keep in mind you're running this in a virtual machine, so it's not really erasing anything. Just go ahead and leave that selected and then select install now. Then select continue. And select your time zone. It should do it automatically. And then fill in whatever data you want. So put in your name. It's going to assign you a username. You can change it if you'd like. I'm going to do login automatically for the tutorial. And I'll just pick a random password. TechDesk123. Alright, so select continue. Now just let that install. Alright, now that it's all done, you just have to go ahead and restart the operating system. Go ahead and click restart now. Alright, now that we're in it, I'll show you the next step. So now I'm going to show you how to install OpenVM tools, which will improve performance and add features such as clipboard sharing, auto guest resizing, and better graphics support, and many more. So you can just ignore the online accounts thing for now, or you could set it up and pause the video. But for now, I'm going to show you. You can go to Show Applications, then type in Terminal, and open that. You're going to enter a few commands. I'll put them all in the description. You do sudo apt update. It's going to ask for your password. Just type that in, let it run. The next one is going to be sudo apt install open-vm tools desktop. And then once that's installed, you're going to do one more. Sudo apt install open-vm tools. Alright, those are the ones that you're done. And once you're done with that, OpenVM tools are installed, and you can enjoy Ubuntu. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I'll see you in another video.